If you're watching this video, then it's likely that your Amazon KDP ads are failing, or at least you think they are. So in this video, I'm going to show you why this actually probably isn't the case, and show you 3 things you can implement right away that will instantly improve your Amazon KDP ad performance. So let's start with why your Amazon KDP ads are failing in the first place. Well, firstly, most of the time, your ads probably aren't actually failing. It's actually more likely that you just haven't been adapting to the changes in the markets or the seasons. And trust me, this is actually a good thing because these are things you can actually take control of and start making changes to. Now, it's really important to add that Amazon ads aren't just a case of set and forget. You need to constantly monitor them and tweak them in order to achieve good performance. And now, the first reason why you might think your Amazon ads are failing is because you're not understanding this idea of natural changes. It is impossible to have super profitable days every single day. That's just not how advertising works in any situation, whether it's TV ads, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's Amazon ads, Amazon KDP ads, FBA ads, whatever it is, you aren't gonna have an amazing day every single day. But the key with advertising is to look at the big picture and not the day-to-day. So if you're looking at it every single day, the minute you have a bad day, you're going to be tempted to go in and make all of these changes, but actually you might be changing something that actually will work in the long term, which is why it's so important to look at the big picture, not just the day-to-day. I generally say with Amazon KDP, the smallest date range you should be looking at is at least a month, because progress is going to be like this. It's not just going to be consistently progressive. You are going to have some bad days, you're going to have some good days. Because it's a free market, there are thousands of variables at play, which means you won't have 100% ad performance every single day. And accepting that that is the case is the first step towards success when it comes to Amazon KDP advertising. But most of the time, people have a few bad days, they have a panic that their ads have failed, and then they make loads of dramatic changes. If you're watching this and this sounds like you, then that's a good thing because you can actually start making these changes in the right way and start seeing success from your ads. You need to just look at the big picture and crucially, be patient. So here is an example of exactly what I mean. Here is a snippet of one of my ad campaigns. Now you look at this, spend £442, just under £1,800 worth of sales with a profitable ACOS of 24.73. My break-even ACOS, I think for this one was around 32%. So this ad is really profitable. However, here is the day-to-day performance of this ad. And it's important to mention the sales number is the blue line and the spend is the orange line. As you can see here, we had a really good start, loads of sales increasing here. And then after a couple of days, especially this period, our sales just completely dropped off a cliff. Now, if I logged onto my Amazon Ads console at this point, I would think, oh my God, my Amazon KDP ad is failing. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna make some changes, panicking, doing everything wrong. Actually, that's not the case. You are gonna have some bad days because literally the day after here, I didn't change anything. The ad started picking up, started making consistently more sales again, and then had an even better day where I saw even more sales, and then it dropped down again, and then it gradually got better. And as you can see, over this time period, my Amazon KDP ad was never consistently perfect because ads simply just never are. You just have to look at the big picture, and if you go ahead and check on all these days where you might potentially just had a bad day or a bad couple of days, and then go in and change everything, you can easily mess it up. So if I'd gone in on any of these days, frantically added negative keywords, changed my bids, or that kind of thing, I could have messed the whole ad up. And actually, in reality, this ad is performing well. So that's the first key point I want to get across. Focus on the big picture. Progress and success in Amazon ads does not look like this on a graph. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. You have to zoom out and look at it as an overall scale. If after a couple months it's still not where it needs to be, then of course that's when you go in and make some changes. But most of the time, people aren't failing with ads, they're just not being patient enough. Now, another potential reason why your ad performance might be dropping is just due to marketing forces. Maybe a new competitor has moved into your niche, perhaps the Christmas period is over, maybe people are just using different search terms to find the same kind of products. Now, another potential reason for your ad performance potentially dropping is just this idea of market forces. Maybe a new competitor has moved into your niche, perhaps the Christmas period is over, or maybe people are just using different search terms to find your book than they were maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Natural drops due to market forces are just part of advertising, and again emphasizes why you need to be on top of your ads rather than just setting and forgetting. So if it's a seasonal change like the Christmas period being over, perhaps in your ad campaigns you had loads of Christmas themed keywords like gifts, Secret Santa, stocking filler, those kinds of things. If you've still got them in your ads come January and February, of course your performance is going to drop. So you need to constantly be monitoring and taking out keywords when you need to. Or maybe people are just using different search terms, which again drives home this point of you need to continually monitor the niche and try new keyword and product targets. Just using the same keyword and product targets in an ad and leaving it for like a year, 6 months. So many things can change in that time. You need to constantly be monitoring, but crucially finding that balance between monitoring and also zooming out and maintaining this big picture. So you might be a little bit confused and might think I'm kind of contradicting myself. The key is to sit somewhere in between here. I would say never make changes under a month. Give it at least a month before you really make a big decision, but don't leave it like 6 months or a year because you do still need to be going in and making some changes. And when it comes to how you actually do this and continually monitor your niche and add more keyword and product targets, I do have an exact video showing you exactly how to do that, which I will leave linked up here. So I've covered what you would do if it's potentially these two reasons, but what if there is a new competitor that has moved into your niche? Again, this is just a natural market force. It's business. When a product is doing well, people will come in and copy you. So let's move on to new competition. As I say, if your book is selling well, there will always be people copying your idea and coming into the niche to steal sales from you. So if you've had a book that's doing really well, someone's come into your niche, you haven't really checked that they've done that, and your advertising sales start dropping off a cliff because this new book is taking sales away from you, that's something you have to deal with. Now, it's just a natural thing. You can't do anything about it, which is why, again, you can't just set and forget your ads. You constantly need to be aware of what's going on. Now, if this is the case, there are a few things you can do to make sure you stay ahead of the competition. Firstly, you can increase your bids. More competition might just mean you have to bid a little bit more to win keyword or product targets, because if you have book A versus book B, book A was previously bidding 50p in order to win the ad space, and then book B comes in and they're bidding 60p, and now they're taking away all that ad space from you. You might just have to start bidding 70p in order to win that ad space. So again, it's natural competition. Don't be afraid to increase your bids, because actually having lower bids can sometimes be a detriment to your ad performance. So that's the first way you can overcome this potential issue. And a good way you can see if your bid is high enough is by studying your impressions. So for those that don't know, impressions are basically just the number of people who see your ad. If your impressions are dropping every single month, it means less people are seeing your ad because you're winning less auctions because your bid isn't high enough. So just keep an eye on your impressions and just see how that changes over time. If your impressions are staying relatively consistent, then you don't really need to go ahead and change your ads. But if your impressions are dropping over time, that means somebody else is winning these bids, and you need to therefore increase your bid. And then if you do that, hopefully you should start seeing your impressions increase again. So impressions are a really good way of monitoring if your bid is in the right place. Now, this might sound a little bit confusing. I know some people do have problems with ads. If you do have any questions you want to know, you can either let me know in the comment section down below or join my premium Amazon KDP community, where you can ask me literally any questions you want to do with Amazon KDP, especially when it comes to KDP ads. And if you want me to look at specifically your actual ad data, then you can also do that in there. I will leave a link to that community down below in the description. So increasing your bids is the first way you can start to fend off new competition in your niche, which might have been driving your Amazon ad sales down initially. Another way you can do this is by improving your product imagery. And more specifically, you can improve your A+ content. Now, the whole point with product imagery when it comes to being better than your competition is you simply just need to prove to your customers that your book is the best offering in the niche, and product imagery really should not be slept on when it comes to this. Now, the good news is the default KDP imagery is fairly poor, and therefore you can stand out by using really good Amazon A+ content. So let's just take this book as an example. Here is just the default imagery for a book. Let's just say this was yours and you have someone coming in as competition. If this is the only imagery you've got, you're gonna have quite a difficult time, especially if your competitor is using A+ content and good product imagery. However, if you decide to level up your listing by adding in this A+ content, this can do wonders for your book conversion and therefore increasing the profitability of your ads. Because remember, the ad just gets people to click into your listing. Once they're in there, it's up to your listing to then convert them into a customer. Which is why some people think A+ content and Amazon ads are two separate things, but they're actually very, very linked. If you improve your A+ content, I can almost guarantee you will see a massive increase in performance in your KDP ads. Because if someone is just clicking into your ad and seeing this, they're so much less likely to buy your book than if they see something like this, because this looks so much more professional, gives so much more information, and especially if your competition isn't doing this, this is just another way that you can stand out and prove to customers that you're the best book in this niche. So if you decide to add in A+ content, how can you actually track whether or not it's doing well? Well, like I say, you need to be measuring your conversion rate. Now, annoyingly, in some ad consoles, you don't get the metric of conversion rate, but you can calculate it yourself by using clicks and also using orders. So basically, conversion rate is simply just the number of people who click into your ad, what percentage of those ended up placing an order. So for this ad here, you can see 129 people clicked into this ad and 15 people made an order, which is a conversion rate of 11.6%. So let's just say this was the ad for our book. When this was the only product imagery we hadn't included any A+ content, we just used the default KDP ad imagery, and therefore we were only converting 11.6% of people. However, let's just say hypothetically, we then improved our A+ content so it looks like this as well. And this is the ad after doing that change. We've now got 1,045 clicks. Again, that's not been impacted by A+ content. A+ content only makes a difference once someone's actually clicked into your ad. However, of these, we've now converted 183 orders at a 17.5% conversion rate. So we've increased our conversion rate by almost 6% just because we've added in better product imagery. So it is really easy to monitor how well these changes are. Like I say, when it comes to increasing your bids, your impressions will show you exactly how or what impact that is making. And when it comes to improving your Amazon A+ content, conversion rate is the metric you need to look for to see if it's making a difference. So those are some reasons why you might have seen your ad sales drop and why you might be panicking thinking your ads are failing. Now, most of the time, your ads probably aren't actually failing, you just aren't adjusting to an ever-changing market. The first thing you need to do when it comes to this is just be patient and look at the bigger picture. There is also a lot of seasonality with selling on Amazon, so if you just launch ad campaigns maybe in November and December, where sales are notoriously high due to the Christmas period, and then it comes to January and February and you're thinking, oh, my ads are completely failing, that's nothing to do with your ads, that's just due to seasonality, which is why it's really important, A, to zoom out and look at the big picture, but B, also just keep an eye on things and make sure you're monitoring the niche and also what's going on seasonality-wise. Now, the second thing you can do to improve your ads that you consider to be failing are to optimize your ads to deal with increasing competition. Now, a lot of the time, just sudden drop-offs in performance of ads is due to more competition coming into the niche. And there are a couple of ways that you can make sure you're dealing with that. The first one, as I say, is to optimize your ads so you can increase bids, you can add new product targets. Go in and just optimize them. I have loads of videos on my channel showing you exactly how you can optimize ads. So that is the first thing you can do. And secondly, if this is the case, you can also improve your product imagery and track the performance of that by looking at your conversion rate. So there you go. That is why you might be seeing your ad performance drop off a little bit and why you might think your ads are failing when in reality they actually probably aren't. So go through this video again, start implementing those changes that I've touched on in this video to your own Amazon ads in the Amazon Ads console, and let me know how you get on, and you'll probably start to see some really positive changes just by implementing these three really simple things. But as always, let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section down below. Subscribe for more Amazon KDP content, and I will see you in the next video.